everyone, so my book this week is The Graveyard Book. It is by Neil Gaiman and the illustrations are done by Dave McKean. Its publisher is the HarperCollins Publishers. It was published in 2008. I said that it's a children's horror fantasy. And there are 309 pages in it. I said it's probably ages 10 and up just because it has some crazy moments in it for sure. And so just a quick summary of it. So this is a book about a boy named Nobody Owen. So very interesting name, but they call him Bod throughout the book. And his parents and siblings were murdered by the man Jack, and he was adopted by Mr. and Mrs. Owens, but then Bod was raised with mostly dead characters that lived in the graveyard, because after his family was murdered, he went to the graveyard and he was just a toddler at the time. And so he learned a bunch of special talents, like fading is one of them, and that's how you get into live in the graveyard without being detected, and it kept him safe from Jack, which is the one that was still searching for him. He murdered all of his family, but not him, so he was still searching for him. So he did many things when he was in the graveyard, and he had a bunch of different friends that he met, and a bunch of teachers too, like teachers, mentors, people that helped him get through it. And so he that is just basically a story about how he was raised when he was in the graveyard, because he didn't have his family there because they all were murdered. So the illustrations in this book, I said, were done with pencil. It's really interesting just because there's occasionally pages with illustrations. Like, there's not always illustrations or anything, so it's kind of random, but it's really cool. So I personally am not like the biggest fan of these type of books, but I thought that this one does a good job of displaying community, friendship, and family, because this poor kid, his parents and siblings were murdered, and this person was still after him, but this community in the graveyard, as weird as it was, being like ghosts and different dead characters like that, they still brought him in and were his family and were his friends. And it shows that the traditional, like, you don't have to have the traditional home style to have, like, to be okay. Like, that's not always the safest situation to be in. So Bod was a lot safer being in this non-traditional upbringing than he would have been if he was in his regular family, I guess, necessarily, or if he went to just being adopted or something. So that was one thing I thought that was a great thing to take from this book. And a book that I thought this was a lot like was the Harry Potter series, because it includes supernatural elements as well as an orphan main character, and that really is similar to the Harry Potter books. And an activity that I said I thought would be good with this one is to pick one supernatural creature, and then that you would want to that the kids would want to interact with throughout a day, and then talk about what they would do that entire day. So what they would do, where they would go, who they would invite, and how that day would be. Thank you.